Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien, and today's live stream we're going to be talking about NVIDIA and how it affects the markets in general as well as cryptocurrencies. We got to talk about NVIDIA because it's a big deal. It actually had a earnings beat, and we'll talk about how it did on its earnings here. They're actually about to start their earnings call. I believe it started about a few minutes ago here. Um, but yeah, Nvidia. We're gonna start with Nvidia, and then we're gonna look at the usuals: Bitcoin, Ethereum. We'll look at some AI cryptocurrencies as well, like Render, that gets affected by these Nvidia earnings reports. And yeah, we'll take a look at the charts after we read the news here, and then I'll take your requests on particular cryptocurrencies you want me to talk about here. But yeah, let's get into it. As you already know, or maybe you're finding out just now, NVIDIA beat earnings on Q1 revenue. They said they expect an additional $8 billion charge on the H20 losses in Q2. It goes on here to say here from this article from Yahoo Finance. NVIDIA reported its first quarter earnings after the bell on Wednesday, beating expectations on revenue but falling short on adjusted EPS due to the impact of the ban on shipments of its H20 chips to China. The company also said it expects to miss out on roughly $8 billion in sales of H20s in the second quarter. NVIDIA stock was up nearly 4% following the announcement. For the quarter, NVIDIA reported earnings per share of 81 cents on revenue of $44.1 billion, compared to analyst expectations of 93 cents on revenue of $43 billion. According to Bloomberg analysts. Without the charge of the H20 chips in Q1, adjusted EPS would have been topping out at 96 cents. Okay, the company reported adjusted EPS of 61 cents on revenue of 26 billion in the same period last year. NVIDIA's data center segment, its largest business, saw a revenue of $39 billion, up from $22.5 billion last year, but behind Wall Street expectations of $39.2 billion. According to NVIDIA CFO Colette Kress, NVIDIA generated just under 50% of its data center revenue via hyperscalers like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. Global demand for NVIDIA's AI infrastructure is incredibly strong, the CEO stated. AI inference token generation has surged tenfold in just 1 year, and as AI agents become mainstream, the demand for AI computing will accelerate. Countries around the world are recognizing artificial intelligence as essential infrastructure, just like electricity and the internet, and NVIDIA stands at the center of this profound transformation. Now, NVIDIA had to write down about $4.5 billion in charges related to the Trump administration's ban on sales of its H20 chip to China. The company announced the news in an April regulatory filing. NVIDIA shares have fluctuated widely since the start of the year as the company has dealt with setbacks ranging from export controls to concerns related to expected semiconductor tariffs. So it sounds like this company is still staying strong, even though it's getting a lot of headwinds from things that are mainly out of their control, like export controls and tariffs. They're still knocking this thing out of the park. I think that's what investors are keying on, is that this company is a strong, solid company. And one of the reasons why we have to look at NVIDIA, guys, here is because NVIDIA actually creates some of the GPU mining equipment that a lot of these cryptocurrencies are, the proof of work cryptocurrencies are using. Maybe mainly not Bitcoin, but some of these altcoins are actually using proof of work protocol for their mining. And NVIDIA provides the computer chips for the miners to do that, to secure the network, to secure the blockchain. And also NVIDIA now being, an artificial intelligence play, there's a lot of AI cryptocurrencies out there that are also affected by NVIDIA. If NVIDIA sees future demand in AI, and they're reporting pretty solid earnings, that means a lot of these AI cryptocurrencies, such as Render, they're going to be doing pretty well after hearing that NVIDIA is doing well themselves. Let's take a quick look here at Render for a little bit. Render is at $4.39, down about 1.74% today. Render looks like it was getting resistance off the 200-day moving average earlier here in May. We'll see if Render starts catching some bids after NVIDIA. I think people are paying attention to what the earnings call and what the CEO of NVIDIA is going to say. We'll go back to NVIDIA stock here because let's see what NVIDIA is doing as far as the after hours trading action goes. And it looks like NVIDIA, if you look at here, trading at about $142. I believe that's the high water mark here. We haven't seen $142 since. I gotta get rid of this Fibonacci analysis, but back here when we had that whole scare with DeepSeek, we're pretty much filling that gap. We had a gap down on DeepSeek where this thing dropped like 16% the following day after, and was trading in like the $110, $112, $115, $116 area. Okay. And then of course tariffs didn't really help, and it brought NVIDIA down. And then after after Liberation Day and Trump did the pause on tariffs, we saw NVIDIA go up in value here, just like a lot of other stocks and a lot of other cryptos. And it looks like we are now getting a fill in the gap here, at least on the after hours. They're trying to fill in that gap from the bad news back there in DeepSeek. So NVIDIA is looking pretty bullish. As you could tell here, with the price being near the all-time highs. Let's see, the all-time highs for NVIDIA was about $153. We saw that on January 7th here. Okay, we're only like $10 shy of that, at least on the aftermarket hours here. And yeah, NVIDIA is above all its moving averages, looking pretty solid, pretty strong. Looking at the indicators here, the RSI is sitting at like 66 right now. So it still has a little bit more room to go before it can be considered overbought on the daily time frame here. Let's see, looking at the MACD, we have seen buying pressure come in, but it's starting to die down. But we might get a reset, and we might get more buying pressure after this earnings call, and we'll have to see how NVIDIA handles it tomorrow. Okay. But the one thing that I don't like here is that stochastic RSI is also high, so maybe NVIDIA does have to trade sideways for a little bit to reset these indicators before we can be even more bullish. But I do like the fact that we had a red dot on Market Cipher B here. Market Cipher B is showing that we had a red dot for last Wednesday. But the good thing about this, the reason why I'm excited about seeing a red dot, is that usually after red dot comes a green dot. Okay, it usually goes green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, and we just had a red dot, so we should be getting a buy signal green dot sometime soon here, telling us that we should be buying NVIDIA. And like I said, right now NVIDIA is currently trading at 134 bucks. That was the last trade during the regular hours, and then right now post market hours, NVIDIA is up about $7 from that, up 5% tonight, trading at $142. So that is nice to see. Let me go and change my indicators here. And I have done a Fibonacci analysis on an NVIDIA. If I just move this back to from $153 down to like the lows here that we saw in April at $86 NVIDIA. We did fill in a lot of the Fibonacci nodes here, and we're actually getting past the 0.786 retracement as we trend higher to higher prices here. If NVIDIA continues being bullish, we do have a 1618 that says we could see $194 on NVIDIA. Maybe that might happen later on this year. I wouldn't expect that to happen anytime soon here, but maybe $194 could come into play later on in 2025. How is everybody doing there? Can I get like a sound check? Let's see. Just trying to make sure that you guys are able to hear me out here. I see Trade Intuitions in the chat here. You're charting on your main monitor. Have you on the other monitor doing a... I can barely read that comment, but... doing something here, showing support and smashing the like. Oh, thank you for smashing the like button, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. I appreciate you guys smashing that like button for me. And Trade Intuition says that the sound is good. Thank you, Trade. Thank you, Joe. All right. Let's see if I have any more any requests coming in here. Let's see. Somebody here is asking, aren't they bearish? How did it skyrocket? I think one of the main reasons why NVIDIA skyrocketed is because they're expecting a deeper charge off on their H20s that they weren't able to sell to China. They were actually able to sell them to another customer here, so that's one of the reasons why I think NVIDIA is doing pretty well here after hours here. We'll see. We'll go back to NVIDIA maybe if you guys want me to go back to it. We can go back to it after this earnings call is underway. Right now they're on the earnings call, and I don't really see too much. I don't see the price coming down so far. We did top out at 142 bucks, but we're kind of like staying near that area right now on NVIDIA's aftermarket earnings call here. So yeah, everything's looking good so far with NVIDIA. You would think this would cause crypto to start going back up again. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently trading at $107,360. I'm on the daily time frame here, and I was wondering why Bitcoin and the markets were going down earlier today. I guess there was some news about Donald Trump is restricting more sales to China, which could mean that the trade negotiations with China are not going as well as they would like them to go, which could mean, you know, tariffs might be here to stay, or at least stay at the level that they're at right now. Also, interest rates have been creeping up as well. There's some things going on with the bond market in Japan, and also here in the United States. Donald Trump's tax plan is looking like it's going to cause more of a deficit for the United States, so that's causing the Treasury yields to go up, and I think that's dragging the markets down today. There really wasn't that much news today besides the restriction on sales to China, and also just the bond market increasing in interest rates, and then also NVIDIA's earnings report, which I believe is acting like a positive catalyst right now. But there was uncertainty with NVIDIA, and then there was also you know, Donald Trump restricting sales to China, and I think that brought the market down. But we saw Bitcoin come down. Right now we're down about 1.4% on Bitcoin. We opened up at 108,978. We got as high as 109,344, but we are currently down about 1,500 bucks on Bitcoin today. If Bitcoin was to continue on its downtrend, I still have this purple box as my buy zone area that I want to be buying Bitcoin, and that's going to be anywhere between $102,000 to $105,000 Bitcoin, which sits in between like the 0.5 retracement level and the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. That's your golden pocket. We'll see if Bitcoin actually comes down to those levels here if we continue being bearish. Let's go into the 1 hour time frame. I go into the 1 hour time frame. You know, what I was eyeing earlier today was I saw like we were getting some less selling pressure on the MACD here. And I thought we were going to get a flip on the MACD and start getting some green candles, but it looks like we had a red candle of death here at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and that was basically Wall Street just selling off Bitcoin. The ETFs must have came in and started selling their Bitcoin off, and I'm not sure why, but we lost the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. And when you lose the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame, you have to consider being bearish. You have to stop being bullish, and you have to wonder what exactly is wrong here. So yeah, the MACD just continues showing more red candles throughout the day here, and it looks like Bitcoin about like around 4 p.m. here Eastern time, It bottomed out at 106,790. So we got a little bit of a bounce here. I see that the selling pressure is starting to die off, but who knows? Maybe the selling pressure comes back in again on the MACD, and we have to go further to the downside here to generate some more interest in buyers to be buying Bitcoin. All right, let's see. I got a comment here. Do you think the market will crash anytime soon, and should I buy if it does? Crashing. You mean like a correction? Because crash would be like something like all the stocks and crypto are going down like 30% or more. I think what you mean is, are we going to have a correction? And I believe we already had that correction back in like March and April. Now we're in a kind of a recovery mode here for crypto and stocks. Okay. And Bitcoin is near all-time highs here. Just because we're near all-time highs doesn't mean this thing has to correct or crash. Okay. You can still remain bullish on Bitcoin as long as you stay above this 21 EMA, right, on the daily time frame. That 21 EMA is $106,000. Once you lose $106,000, you have to start to worry that maybe we are going to get a deeper correction. But if you lose $106,000, that falls right below my right into my buy zone, where I'm expecting, you know, to be some support at $102,000-$105,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so I don't really see a crash or correction coming. There would have to be some macroeconomic news. There would have to be, like, I don't know, like a new war breaking out somewhere between two significant countries. Not just a big country beating up on a small country, but, like, you know, there would have to be a significant macroeconomic news event. Maybe a big giant bank going under for whatever reason that could cause a crash in the markets. But right now, I don't foresee that. And if you're asking me if it's going to crash, it tells me that you weren't buying when you should have been buying, which is back in April and even early May, when Bitcoin already had its crash and correction, and most of the stock market had their crash and correction there as well. Right now, it seems that the market is just going up and to the right, or at least Bitcoin is doing that. And going sideways is the only time you can actually get a good deal on crypto and Bitcoin, because I don't see us getting any crashing or corrections going on, especially with trade deals looming. You know, we have possible trade deal with India coming up soon, and maybe Japan and some other countries as well. I mean, as soon as we catch wind of a trade deal, the market's gonna go back up again. So I don't really see why there would be a crash or a correction, in my opinion. All right, yeah, John 316, nice to see you in the chat. And if you guys haven't hit that smash that like button if you haven't. And if you guys are new to the channel and you're enjoying the analysis so far, go ahead and consider hitting that follow button and subscribe button for my YouTube viewers out there. All right, let's see. I'm just trying to read some more comments here. K Nubby is asking me, maybe not a crash, but will it go down like it did in March? I think in order for us to go down like we did in March, the trade deals, the negotiations have to all go bad. I mean, all of them have to go bad at the same time. And the tariffs have to, like, actually stay in place or even get worse for us to have another correction or crash like we did in March. Like, March was the anticipation of tariffs, and in April was actual tariffs go into effect. Liberation Day, it was like, what, April 2nd? And the reason why we all crashed is because I think the market was not expecting the tariffs to be as high as they are, as Donald Trump said that they were going to be. People were expecting like maybe 20% tariffs, but then Donald Trump was talking about like 50% tariffs on some countries. We did like 100% tariffs on China because of reciprocal tariffs and tariffs that are already on place and stuff like that. If we go back to that kind of talk, you know, and negotiating, then yeah, I could see us crashing again. All right, but I I don't know. You're basically asking me, do I know what the black swan is going to be that's going to crash the markets? And I don't know. Um, I don't think we're going to get something like that unless something significant happens with tariffs or something significant like one of these banks going out of business, or maybe like a war breaking out somewhere between two countries, two big countries. Maybe I don't know. Maybe like Iran and Israel could cause the market to crash if that's what you're basically asking me about. But yeah, I mean, I have heard talks and rumors that Israel wants to go after Iran and dismantle their uh, their nuclear proliferation program. That might send shocks in the market. Could be a bad day if that happens. But yeah, let me see. I'm just trying to see if I missed any comments here. Nope, I think that's it. You guys just talking about crashing. Uh, Alvin is saying up or down tonight, and then Shaylo's asking me about Pulse Chain. I thought we talked about Pulse Chain the other day. I guess we can look at Pulse Chain. Let's take a look at Pulse Chain since you mentioned it. And then I want to look at Render, and I want to look at some of these AI cryptocurrencies after that. All right, let's see. Pulse Chain. I hope this is the right one. I mean, this is one we're gonna look at for now. Pulse Chain currently trading at 35.01, down 6% today. And Pulse Chain did get above the 200-day moving average, so that's good to see. But it looks like we're just trading sideways here. It didn't get overbought. That's interesting. On the RSI, it almost got overbought. It has to be 70 on the RSI for it to be technically overbought. And we played around with it. We got up to like 69 last Wednesday. But no, and it wasn't overbought. But we still came down anyways here. So you're getting a little bit of red candles here on the MACD. Okay. I want to see some pink candles start showing up, meaning that the selling pressure is dying down, and then maybe you might be able to catch the higher low on this crypto. Stochastics are pretty low right now, so it should be ready to be bought. But just because stochastics are low doesn't mean that it can't stay low. And if we're going to continue going down to lower prices here, then yeah, the stochastic RSI could just stay low as you continue going to lower prices here. But I like the fact that this thing is actually above its 200-day moving average. It looks like you're trying to maintain support on the 200-day. 200-day is at 33.99. This thing came down as low as 34.34. So almost there on the 200-day. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to quickly do a Fibonacci analysis for you. Measuring from the last high to the last low here, and if the thing continues going lower, I see pretty much here some confluence on the 100-day moving average, sitting at 3,000. Is kind of in confluence with the 0.5 retracement at 3,115. So maybe you might be able to get some cheaper Pulse Chain around those levels there. If this thing does become bullish, we do have a 1618 saying that this thing could get up to like 5,702. Okay. All right, let's move on to Render. USD. Okay. All right, so Render is currently at $4.41. And let's see, we're going to actually go into the 15-minute chart here. I believe after the bit of good news that NVIDIA has been giving us, this thing should be trying to climb back up to higher prices. And we did see Render, wow, okay. Came down as low as $4.20, $4.20 of course, right? Got a nice little hammer reversal candle. A little bit of follow through, but then we kind of sold off. Probably go into earnings here for NVIDIA. And then looks like after NVIDIA's earnings report came in, we got that nice bullish engulfing green candle here. And now we're kind of trading sideways, probably because we're hearing the earnings call to see if we can continue being more bullish, to see what kind of guidance NVIDIA is going to give. But if the NVIDIA's guidance is also good as well, then this thing should get another leg up. And if it does, we have probably the 100-day moving average will act as resistance at 457. We want to get up to like 461, 462 on render and flip that 200 moving average into support rather than resistance. But was this the lows, that the most significant lows that we had so far for render? Let me zoom out to the 4-hour chart here. And you can see that render, it was starting to make a lower low here, at least on the 4-hour chart. We're kind of at the same prices that we were back here in the beginning of May, before Bitcoin took off and got us the higher prices for render here. Let's see, render had a high price here of 554 on May 10th when we had like almost like a mini altcoin. We'll call it altcoin weekend, not even a season. And I think that's going to be the next high that we need to beat if we're going to continue being bullish on render here. And I have measured this with a Fibonacci analysis, and it's saying that if render continues being bullish, we got a 1618 that says that render could be up to $7.24 maybe later on in 2025. But I don't like the fact that render is below its 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame. Let's see. We'll zoom out to maybe the 12-hour time frame. Okay, so a 12-hour time frame is above the 200 moving average. 8-hour time frame. Ooh, interesting. 8-hour time frame. We actually got a bounce off of the 200 moving average. This was earlier today. So someone's using the 8-hour chart and they're defending that level there at 420. Of course it would be 420, right? Which is also in confluence with the 0.5 retracement level here. $4.17. So someone decided to throw their hat in the ring with that 200 moving average at the 8-hour time frame and also the 0.5 retracement, same 417. Hopefully 417 holds up, and if it does, then you can continue to still be bullish on render. If we lose 417, then look out below. You might have the 0.236 retracement try to provide support at $3.44, and you might lose roughly $1 from where you are right now on render. All right, let's take a look at a AI cryptocurrency that most of you probably never heard about, but I think it's got a lot of room to run if it does go to the upside here. And this is AIT protocol, currently trading at 0.017 pennies here. We're looking at the 8-hour time frame here. Let's go into the daily time frame just to zoom out. This thing did bottom out here in the beginning of April, like a lot of other cryptos. You could have got this thing as low as like 1 penny here. Okay, so whoever bought at that level is up 70% right now. But yeah, this thing has seen better days here. Would be nice if we can get back to where we were trading at in December at like 5 or 6 cents here. Okay, so if this thing can just get back to where it was in December, then that's like almost like a 4x from where you are right now. All right, but just zooming out some more here. This crypto has seen definitely better days here. Okay, this thing was trading as high as about $1 in March of 2024. So this thing could possibly be like almost like a 50x. If you guys are looking for something that could do that. There's no guarantee that we're actually going to get up to that level. Okay, I would actually want to turn on the VRVP here real quick. And VRVP would probably show you the more likely levels where you might see this cryptocurrency go to. And right now we have a value area high at like 9 cents. So this thing could still get up to like 9.5 cents. Where it was trading back in November and October of last year. All these people that bought in October and November of last year, they're still underwater. But when this thing does come up to 9 cents or 10 cents, it's probably going to get sold. Especially that guy that bought at a penny. If this thing gets up to like 10 cents, that guy's going to be 10xing their money. They're probably going to sell as well when this thing gets up to like 9 or 10 cents. So I'd be targeting 9 or 10 cents realistically on this crypto. But yeah, if you're looking for something that could run to the upside and is related to AI and it's a crypto, you might want to look at AIT protocol. And I actually own some myself. AIT protocol, you can get it on Coinbase wallet, and you can also get it on Phantom wallet as well. All right, let's take a look at another AI crypto. We'll take a look at virtuals with the virtual AI agents. This crypto has also had a fall from grace when this thing was trading at about $5.25 back in January. I think that was the high water mark. I got the VRVP fired up here. Looks like we have a value area high at like $1.93, so we're currently above that. That's good to see. But it's also something that you need to be a little bit concerned about, because with us being above the value area high, most people did buy this crypto below where we're trading at right now. So they could sell on you at any time here and bring this thing back down to lower prices, because they're already in profit and they might want to keep their profit. So if this thing starts dropping down, there might be a likelihood that you're going to see some people selling off just to hold on to their profits. But with Virtual's protocol here, I have measured Fibonacci analysis. I have to adjust a little bit. Looks like now the high watermark is at like 258. Yeah, we saw 258 back on May 27th here. And I measured all the way down to like 57 cents where we were trading at back in like April. And if this thing continues being bullish, we have a 1618 saying this thing can get up to like $3.82. $3.82. Let me go ahead and turn on some of the moving averages here. See what it's looking like with the moving averages. The daily time frame is showing that you're above most of the moving averages here, with a 21 EMA trying to catch up to price. 21 EMA is this white line at $2, roughly $2. If we, for some reason, come down, I would expect that white line to act as support, as it has been ever since the middle of April here. Okay, when we come down, we might go below it a little bit, but we end up using that as support for the most part as we're up in this uptrend on virtuals. And yeah, I would expect virtuals to get support at $2 here. Okay, maybe 0.618 at $1.81. Okay, but since this is one of the stronger AI cryptocurrencies out there, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing doesn't even come down lower than $2.15, which we have the 0.786 retracement at. Okay, so yeah, I think you could be putting your buy orders in anywhere between $2.15 and $1.81, and then just see if you get filled. That would be my buy zone here for virtuals. And of course, we're targeting $3.82. Let's see, does that correspond with any sideways trading action back here? We got some sideways trading at 248, 250. Okay, we got a candlewick opening and a closing around like $3 here. Actually, no, that's like $3.84. So actually, let's see, $3.08. Yeah, I would say $3.08 should be your long-term target on virtuals for now. You got the 1618 showing that level, and then you also got right here, if I just draw this out, you got candlewick opening and closing, the body of the candles at $3.80. So I think $3.80 should be take profit for virtuals. All right, let's see. I'm gonna try to zoom in, see if I got any messages here. Any requests for any altcoins out there or stocks? We can talk about stocks as well. Looks like I have a request for Toshi. I can do Toshi. Appreciate the request. Don't forget the like button. And what else are we looking at? No, it's just Toshi for now. Okay, we'll look at Toshi. Toshi. All right, let's look at Toshi. I think I want to put on my full indicator template here. I'll get rid of the VRVP for now. All right. And what is this? Let me get rid of this as well. Toshi. Looking at Toshi, currently trading at 6,788, down 3% today. Zooming in on Toshi. Looks like we're just doing sideways consolidation on Toshi after being overbought and towards like May 12th here. I like the fact that the stochastics are looking pretty low right now, so maybe this thing is ready to start running to the upside here. I also like looking at back here. We had a red dot on Thursday, May 15th, meaning that you should have been selling there, but after a red dot usually comes a green dot. We just don't know when, but it should be coming hopefully sometime soon here on Toshi. You would think that the 21 EMA should provide support and cause us to go up and to the right here for a liftoff on Toshi. This thing is kind of like dragging his butt right now. Trying to take a look at what the MACD might be doing here. Man, I kind of want to like almost delete this indicator here. And that's just because this price is so damn low, being under 1 penny. But yeah, we got some red candles here on the MACD. And you don't have any pink candles yet on the daily time frame. If you see some pink candles showing up, that probably means that the low has been put in and selling pressure is dying down, and you're going to be getting some buying pressure soon. Let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame. Okay. So 4-hour time frame, the buying pressure has been dying down, and you're getting some red candles here on the MACD. You also got a red dot here about 4 hours ago. This afternoon, you have a red dot on the 4-hour time frame for Toshi. So not looking too good, at least not today. But yeah, I think the 4-hour chart's a good chart to be looking at for Toshi, especially if you're using the information off a Coinbase exchange here. You're above most of the moving averages except for the 50-day moving average. That could act as resistance at 72.78 here. And I'm zooming out a little bit, but I think as far as like maintaining an uptrend, you want to stay above this last low here at 62.87. 62.52 actually. Yeah, I'm going to draw that line out right here on Toshi. If you lose this line, if you go below 62.50, then you have to start to become more bearish on this crypto, because something's not right if you're making the lower lows here on the 4-hour time frame. Excuse me. But we'll measure this out to see where this thing could go. We'll try to get the Fibonacci extension levels going here to see if this thing, how high it could possibly go. Measuring from the top to the bottom. We have a 1618 saying that this thing could get up to 1387, 13,870. And you basically be doubling your money with Toshi. And if you double your money, you guys know what I already say about doubling your money. You should be selling something if you already doubled your money. Not financial advice, but in my opinion, that's usually how most people make money, is by selling after they doubled in whatever asset that they're in. All right. I feel like I'm a little bit low energy. I've been on a diet that has like restricted my calories, and I just feel a little bit blah today. But I think also the market's kind of making me feel blah as well, with all this red that we're seeing here. I don't really have that many requests either. You guys are very quiet today. I just feel like the market might have drained a lot of energy out of the market here. I do got a few people here on the live stream on my YouTube. Appreciate you guys still being there with me. But if I'm not getting any requests, it usually kind of ends up being like a dead stream here. Unless I gotta take the initiative and narrative to like tell you what cryptos I'm looking at. Let's look at another AI cryptocurrency that I feel like no one's really requested. But AIXBT is another good crypto you guys might want to take a look at. That's related to AI. It might benefit from the fact that NVIDIA had a good earnings report here. I'm on the 4-hour time frame. Let's go with the daily time frame. Ooh, wow. At least on Kraken Exchange, this crypto's back to where it was trading at in February. So that's a nice little recovery you got there on AIXBT. Let me just we had some red candles here on the MACD, but now we're starting to get some green candles, so that's good to see. And you had a green buy down saying that this thing should have been bought yesterday, if you haven't done so already. Looks like you buy this thing on Kraken Exchange. I'm not sure if it's on Coinbase or any other popular exchanges, but well, it probably is if it's on Kraken. But I know sometimes Kraken has cryptos that Coinbase doesn't have. Looks like we had a nice green candle yesterday. This thing got as high as like 27 cents. Nice. Higher than the highs back here in March. Man, this thing might be something to watch going forward here. Let me just do a quick Fibonacci on this one. Measuring from the top here to the bottom. Around here, around these candle wicks. This one has a 1618 saying this thing could get up to like 34 cents. Let's go into the 1-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame. So we actually had that crazy candle back here on Tuesday. It looks like around 8 o'clock this morning, when Wall Street was selling off, this thing decided to sell off, went down 4%. Ooh, wow, in 1 hour. Trading sideways here, but looks like after NVIDIA's earnings, you're starting to get some green candles here. And the selling pressure is starting to die off again. Those pink candles on the MACD. Maybe you might be flipping that to some green candles here in the future here on the 1-hour time frame. I want to go back to NVIDIA. Let's see how NVIDIA's doing after its earnings call. See if the price is still at 142 bucks. Came down a little bit here. We're not at 142, but we're close to 141 on NVIDIA's post-market action here on price. After market hours, whatever you want to call it. Post-market, after hours. So this thing doesn't really show that. This thing is just showing that we had an earnings report, but it doesn't report the numbers here. If I go back to NVIDIA's numbers here, NVIDIA had earnings per share of 96 cents, better than the 93 cents that was forecasted, and revenue was at 44 billion, better than the 43.3 billion that they were expecting. So once again, another good quarter and a better quarter than expected for NVIDIA. And that's the reason why NVIDIA is kind of like topping out. Getting back to where it was in early February. Yeah. We had this gap down here in January. This was from the DeepSeek crisis. NVIDIA did a pretty good job of recovering most of that price action. We'll see if this actually sticks tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see NVIDIA trading tomorrow, at least in the first hour or two in the stock market. But being at 141 bucks, you're not too far off from the all-time high of 153 bucks, which we saw in the beginning of January here. Hey, Paka, if the live is lacking, you can just leave, right? You don't have to be here. I don't know why you gotta say things like that, but you know, you don't have to be here, to be honest. It's as simple as that. You come on here saying the same thing over and over. I'm probably gonna have to block you, to be honest with you, because like you're kind of like you're talking garbage and smack. So, yep, you've been blocked. Have a good one, buddy. You're out. Always somebody. I don't want to end the stream on a negative note like that, but I am getting close to ending the streams. I mean, we already talked about NVIDIA, and we talked about some of these other cryptocurrencies here. Obviously, things are in the red, but looks like we're kind of getting a little bit of recovery here. We'll go back to Bitcoin. We'll finish off on Bitcoin here. So, Bitcoin trading at $107,500, up a little bit from when I first started this live stream here. I still have my purple buy zone. If we're lucky enough to get Bitcoin at $102,000 to $105,000, I believe that should be a good buy zone if you're able to get it for those prices. But the way Bitcoin's been acting these days here, we do see that Bitcoin will probably just continue going up and to the right. And if it does, just using this Fibonacci analysis here, I think a lot of people are targeting $120,000 Bitcoin, maybe $130,000 Bitcoin. We're not sure when, but it looks like it will happen sometime in 2025. And then, of course, we have even bigger numbers here with 2618 saying that Bitcoin could get up to $142,000. If I have to use Fibonacci extension, that's actually a good sign that we are in a bull market here, because that usually means that we're about to get past the all-time highs here. All-time high of $112,000 on Bitcoin. Let me look at the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame on Bitcoin is showing that we are getting some green candles here. So obviously the news from NVIDIA is positively affecting Bitcoin right now, which should then positively affect the rest of the cryptocurrency market. So maybe this was the low for today, maybe even the low for the week. Right, because we haven't been this low since like Sunday here. But if this is the lows, then you guys might be getting your discounts on Bitcoin right now. And I would be more bullish on Bitcoin once we get above the 200-day moving average, sitting at 108,850. 108,850 is when I would start to become more bullish on Bitcoin and crypto in general. Okay, because then you recover it, you get above that 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. And we'll just take a look at the 4 hour time frame, see what the 4 hour time frame is. Yeah, about like a 21 EMA is sitting at 108,900. So once you start getting up to like 108,800, $109,000 Bitcoin, I think the bulls will start showing back up again, and we can start pushing crypto up to higher prices here. So I was going to finish off the live stream on Bitcoin here. But let's see. Curran is asking about GameStop. I guess we can take a look at GameStop on the way out. Appreciate the request. GameStop had some news earlier today. They actually bought some Bitcoin, or they claim that they bought some Bitcoin, about like 4,000 Bitcoin, I believe, worth roughly about like almost $500 million. I mean, I have to do the math here real quick, right? What's 4,000 times 109,000 roughly? Oh shit, I messed that up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's like almost, well, I'm just using 4,000 because that's the number I got off the top of my head, but I know it was like a little bit more than $4,000 Bitcoin. They had more than 4,000 Bitcoin, and I remember the headline saying that they bought like $500 million of Bitcoin. So let's take a look at how that's affecting GameStop. Right now, we're looking at the 4 hour time frame on GameStop, and when that news came out, the stock dropped, right? Looks like we came down 10% today on GameStop. And I believe that's because they went into debt to go buy that Bitcoin. So that makes sense. But, I mean, even if they sold shares, to buy Bitcoin, that would probably drop the stock as well. But they didn't sell shares. They just went into debt. They took out a loan, convertible notes is what they call it, and yeah, this thing now has a red dot here on market cipher B. Buying pressure's coming down. This thing was overbought. Looks like it was overbought like on Tuesday and Thursday. So was there rumors about this news that they were going to buy Bitcoin? That probably was the reason why we got overbought here on the 4-hour time frame. Let me go to the daily time frame. Yeah, you were overbought yesterday and Friday. Okay. Now you got that red candle coming in. So this is not surprising. This is not a surprise here that after being overbought and you just went into more debt, yeah, you're coming down. You're probably going to come down to the 21 EMA here at like $28.56, which is like the same price action you were trading at last week and the week before that. So I would expect this thing probably come down maybe another 10% for like a 20% drop. And we have looked at this chart before where I got some previous chart work here. I'm just going to get rid of that now. But yeah, looking at GameStop, let me just do a Fibonacci retracement here. And we come back down to levels that we were at earlier, back in early May, where we saw this thing as low as like $25.67. You're most likely going to come down to, I think you're going to come down and do a deep retracement at 0.236 level at 28 bucks. But maybe you might get the bounce at $29 instead. That $29 level, $30 level is what a 0.382 retracement's at. So you're almost there. You're almost there as far as like maybe this correction might be over. But I wouldn't be surprised if we came right back down to $28, to be honest. But also using that Fibonacci retracement, if we were to continue being bullish, if this bet on Bitcoin plays out for them, you might see a $41 GameStop. Almost $42 here. That's the 1618. So you might see that later on in 2025, especially if Bitcoin goes up to $200,000 after they just bought it at $100,000. Yeah, I would expect GameStop to go up in value and be a $40 or maybe even a $50 stock for that matter. Let's see, what is the 2618? 2618 says this thing could be a $50 stock. So I think I'm gonna end the live stream there, guys. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet today. Curran says that they have no debt. Yeah, but how did they buy that Bitcoin? Did they have $500 million in cash? Because if they have $500 million in cash, then their stock wouldn't drop. I think they actually went into debt. I have to double check. I mean, let's just check it real quick here. All right, we'll look at the GameStop news here. And let's see. Is what Reuters are saying. They bought $500 million in crypto, in Bitcoin. GameStop said it acquired 4,700 Bitcoins. All right, but like, how did they buy it? How did they buy that Bitcoin? I'm trying to figure out. Did they buy it with cash? I don't think they had $500 million in cash, to be honest with you. Yeah, this doesn't really explain it here in this article. Here's why the stock is pulling back. Okay. Alright. Jeez, why does this thing keep asking me this thing? So you said that they're not in debt, but I believe that they Yeah, I'm reading the chat right now. They have $6 billion in cash? That's interesting. I mean, that's news to me. I don't really follow GameStop like that, but if you say so, I believe it. But like, why did the stock drop down though? Like, Bitcoin didn't go down 11%, but they did. All right, so maybe I misread that. Maybe that's I know Donald Trump's company. They bought Bitcoin, or they're planning on buying Bitcoin, but they're going to be selling stock and doing convertible notes. So maybe that's where I got mixed up on. But if they bought it with cash, then you would think that the stock would also be doing pretty well itself. Why would it drop 10% on that news? I don't know. But anyways, I think that's enough for it. I can do some more reading and research on that later. But yeah, GameStop, right, down 10% after announcing that they bought Bitcoin. That's maybe that's short sellers attacking the stock. Maybe that's the big bad bears trying to punish them for buying Bitcoin and announcing it. Yeah, see, you said that they issued notes for $1.5 billion. I was pretty sure that they did issue notes. I just couldn't remember where exactly I read that. And the articles that I pull up, they weren't really showing that either. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this live stream, guys. I appreciate you guys coming into the live stream and asking me your questions here and going over your requests. I'm keeping this one short and sweet. We got a chance to talk about a couple stocks here, NVIDIA and GameStop. And then we talked about some AI cryptocurrencies that you might want to look into. With a bit of good news that we got from NVIDIA, I'm expecting the AI cryptocurrencies to do pretty well. And I'm also expecting crypto to do well in general. But it looks like we're just still struggling here. On the 1 hour time frame, Bitcoin did print out a couple of green candles the last couple hours. We're hoping to see another green candle here. Probably get a bullish. We like to see a bullish engulfing green candle. It just gets us right above that 200 moving average. We're aiming for $109,000 Bitcoin for us to become bullish again on crypto. Other than that, I mean, there must be something else bad that's happening that the markets are taking into consideration here. But anyways, good luck trading and investing, whatever assets you decide to get into, guys. And I'll see you on the next live stream. And I appreciate you guys hitting that follow button and subscribe button as well. Take care, guys.